Hey guys, I wanted to do, I don't know if you can hear me out here, a vlog, because, I had some stuff to talk about today and I really wanted to um, express it. So I won't edit this at all, and I think it might be a little bit ranty, so I hope I can communicate everything properly. All right, so today I was at my sister's graduation, high school graduation, and I mean, I'm all dressed up and stuff. Um, I was there to support her, but I was feeling very uncomfortable and very upset. And it wasn't because I felt insecure or it wasn't because I felt out of place. I felt completely content there. Um, However, the thing that was upsetting me was the amount of misinformation that was being provided and the hidden how it was hidden, how it was disguised in what people were saying. So the mechanism they used is, of course, emotions, right? To put it into perspective, let's say I'm going through high school. Let's say I'm going through school. I'm going through school all my life. I'm being told what to do, how to do it, punished if I don't really comply, and rewarded if I do. Taught to not think creatively, to not think intuitively, to not, you know, discover myself and find myself. Taught to just stay inside the box they want you to. And then high school comes and you're given, a little bit of freedom, the illusion of freedom. It's not actually freedom. You're molded so much that it seems like freedom because you're allowed to move around in your box, but you're still in your fucking box. And if you go outside your box, you'll get punished. It just depends how far you push. But the emotions come in through the high school graduation. So you're graduating from high school. Now it's like, okay, you get to do something in your life theoretically where you're not told what to do. Um, and it's a very happy event. You're going to go and graduate with all your friends. You're going to have a prom, a grad. Your family's going to be there. Everybody's going to be able to see it. Um, it's nice. It's a really nice thing. So you go there, you get your dress or your tux or whatever. Um, and at these graduations, there's lots of traditions and there's lots of speeches and things like that. And here's where the manipulation mechanisms come into play. A very strong example. So, for this example, I'll use a metaphor, or something, an analogy. Let's say there's an artist who creates a song, and it's really nice, and it's really wonderful, and it's a really, really, really good song. The artist created that song and sang that song with emotion. And what you hear as a result is a little piece of them, a little bit of their essence, something very genuine and very true. Right? That's why some music can be so touching. So that's good. However, what they do in these, not just these events, but all the time, but at this graduation in particular, is they take speeches. They take speeches and traditions and they associate these speeches with the music. They'll have a speech and they'll have music playing in the background. This song, a very wonderful, beautiful song that makes you feel something. And regardless of what the information is in this speech, regardless of if it's right or wrong, it's mostly usually wrong. But regardless, the person listening to that speech is going to take that emotion that they feel through the song that is playing during the speech and associate it with that information, with the information in the speech, whether it's right or wrong, which can be very, very detrimental. Because I think every person has a little voice inside that'll tell them, is this wrong or is this right? And that voice or that thought is not necessarily always tangible. It's not necessarily always communicatable. It's not always necessarily understood by the person who has that thought or voice. So usually it'll be like, okay, I feel like something's wrong. I feel like something's wrong here. This shouldn't be how it is. Like, why is my future, the life I'm going to live, being decided for me in such a cookie cutter manner, et cetera, et cetera. They're like, okay, this is wrong. However, that feeling gets drowned out by good emotions, and that's how things happen. That's how unnecessary, terrible things get passed into society and into the group, the population as a whole, as a majority, right? You'll take something wrong, misinformation, detrimental information, you'll disguise it in a big bundle of nice emotion, and then every single person, more or less, will internalize that information tied to the emotion, and they will be numbed to that voice or that thought that says this is wrong, right? And not only that, this is self-sustaining. So those people will then pass that on forward again, right? And it'll get passed on and passed on and passed on until there's, people strong enough to actually fight it. To actually say, no, this is actually wrong. I don't care about what emotion's going on right now. This is actually just completely, completely wrong. And to those people, that's good. However, it's also really terrible, because if you envision that misinformation as a virus, let's say I injected a virus to myself and then I changed fucking color, and that's how you could tell, right? I changed color. Let's say it wasn't slow, or let's say it wasn't fast, it was slow. But once it was done, let's say I was a shiny chrome plating or something like that, right? If you're injected by a virus and you can tell it's deep inside you, it's there, and you're fighting it, you're trying to figure it out, and you're trying to say, no, I don't want to deal with this, no, I don't want this in me. And then you look around, and 1,000 people around you, because there's 1,000 people at that graduation, 1,000 people around you are fully infected by that virus, and they're all chrome, they all look shiny, they look completely different, not human, right? Then the virus gains more power, right? You start to feel lonely, you start to feel unsure, you start to have doubts, and it gets stronger and it starts to take over. And if you still fight it then, right, it's not only the people around you, but it's your interactions with them, right? You're going to do things that are like, oh, I want to explore myself. And of course, that's going to be completely wrong in their eyes. And as a whole, they will berate you and try and break you down so that virus takes over. So you're just like everybody else, because that's the nature of the virus, right? You address this in them, and they will fight it with everything they have, because it's a survival mechanism, Can't take it that your life is a lie. So you just deny it, and you deny everything around you and everyone around you that doesn't serve to help that meaning along. And so after that really long explanation, it was just really frustrating and upsetting to me how moldable and tangible and still hopeful that these graduates, these kids could be, how much potential they could still have. And then as the cherry on top, they're like, no, you're not going to live your life for you, right? You're going to live your life for misery. You're going to live your life for something you don't want. We're going to inject you with this virus. We're going to spread it around all of everywhere, because all of these traditions and stuff, they're all very similar, right? All of these graduation ceremonies, all very similar. We're going to inject you with this, and we're going to make it so prevalent that anyone who wants to fight it can't. Anyone who actually wants to live life for themselves, who wants to fulfill their potential and pursue themselves, we're going to make it so freaking difficult. And we're going to do that at a young, impressionable age, so it will be even harder to reverse. So you got these years and years and years of school, and then where they're like, no, you listen to me, listen, don't think on your own. And then on top of that, you've got this emotional manipulation where it's like, here's some really nice emotions, have them, and don't worry about what's inside. While meanwhile, what's inside is misinformation that you take deep into yourself, and it will direct you in a path of life that you don't want, right? A little bit of nice emotion, for that will direct you, that will send you on a path of complete misery. And if you realize this, sometimes it's too late, you know? So I just really hate seeing everybody so oblivious and seeing everybody so, like, you know, cooperative to that, where it's like, oh, no, this is a good thing. No, this is good. Like, no. Let me reinforce this. This is good. This misinformation is good because of these emotions. That's really bad. And I'll make it even. I'll give you an example. Okay. So there was something kind of nice at the graduation. There was something kind of nice, and it was a sister. Sorry, not sister. A grad parent dance. So my sister went and she danced with my dad. And that's not a side of my dad or my sister that I usually get to see. That's exposing some vulnerability, right? There's a few really nice, genuine things there that you wouldn't see without that event that night. So that's a really good thing. That's wonderful. That's great. However, coming away from that event, like coming home a week from now, people will remember that event as something really nice because of of things like that, because of really good emotions, because they're like, wow, what a nice, beautiful thing, a father and his daughter bonding in such a way that you probably wouldn't see anywhere else, right? They remember that. And all the information associated with that event, okay, this is how you live your life, this is what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to become a doctor, you're supposed to do this, or you need to do this, or like the indirect manipulation, like this person's most likely to succeed in this, so then expectations and so on and so forth. All of that information comes along with it, and it's so burrowed deep inside you, and it's so hard to find. And just like that, like fucking 200 graduates are just, a little less likely to fulfill their potential. Yeah. It sucks. Sorry about the rant, guys. Again, I just wanted to get that off out of my mind, vocalize it in case anyone else agrees or anything like that. Disclaimer, of course, everything said here can be completely wrong, etc. It's only just my opinion. However, I do honestly believe that is one of the things in this world that is such a hidden secret. You want to manipulate the masses, you hide misinformation within emotion. All right, that's it for the vlog. Thanks for listening.